Chapter 23 Words That Breathe. Monday is vocabulary day when Mr. Daniels goes over the new words for the week. As far as reading lessons go, this isn't so bad. All I have to do is listen as he tells us the word's meaning, and I can usually remember it because I make mind movies about each one that helps me remember. I've always had one important rule in the classroom, which is to try to lie low. If I'm called upon, I'll say, I don't know, even if I do. I've discovered that giving a teacher an answer makes them expect more from me, and then everyone gets disappointed. If they never get an answer from me, they stop talking. But today, during vocabulary, Mr. Daniels brings up two words, alone and lonely. He asks for volunteers to explain the difference between the two. It's like my arm doesn't belong to me when it goes up. Mr. Daniels stops mid-sentence and looks at me. Yes, Allie? What have I done? I try to figure out what I should say. Maybe ask to go get a drink? But the thing is that something deep inside me really does want to answer, because I'm an expert on these two words. I know what they mean, and I know how they feel, especially after that butterfly party. Mr. Daniels' eyes are wide, and they're waiting for me to answer. Allie, he says, it's okay. Take your time. And it's like he can see right into my guts, knows how sad I am, like he's handing me a flashlight in a dark room. I lock eyes with Mr. Daniels, and I forget anyone else is even there. I say, well, alone is a way to be. It's being by yourself with no one else around. And it can be good or bad. And it can be a choice. When my mom and brother are both working, I'm alone, but I don't mind it. I swallow hard and shift in my seat. But being lonely is never a choice. It's never about who is with you or not. You can feel lonely when you're alone. But the worst kind of lonely is when you're in a room full of people, but you're still alone. Or you feel like you are anyway. I look at Mr. Daniels. He has his hands stuffed in his pockets and his face looks sad. I try to remember what I just said, but speaking in class has made me so nervous that my mind is doing an Etch-a-Sketch thing. Unable to play my words back. What did I say? Why does he look like that? Staying quiet and having people think you're stupid is better than talking and having people know for sure. Mr. Daniels says my name. Huh? No one laughs, not even Shay or Jessica. Well, he says, if I had a trophy to give out for the best answer of the year, I'd be giving it to you for that. He throws his hands up as if to celebrate. That was, well, excellent. I stare at my desk, wondering why he would say that. Allie? I look up. Thanks, I say, feeling like I have to move. Leave. Why is he acting like I won the Brain Olympics just because I answered a question? Can I please go to the bathroom now? Mr. Daniels seems confused. Yeah, sure, Allie. Go ahead. When I stand, Shay squints at me and shakes her head. She doesn't even have to say anything, and my brain plays the words that she would be saying. Even when I do something right, I feel like I've done something wrong. If I were a coin, I'd be a wooden nickel. Chapter 24. Imaginary Hero. Mr. Daniels asks us to write about our favorite fictional character, a person we consider to be a hero, and be ready to tell the class about who it is. It's funny how much trouble Albert has with this. He tells Mr. Daniels that looking up to a character isn't real is illogical, but Mr. Daniels tells him it will be good for him, which confuses the heck out of Albert. He mumbles all the way back to his seat. Albert never mumbles. He either talks or he doesn't. Oliver is in his seat listing the names of every superhero I've ever heard of. Superman, Captain America, Batman. He looks upset when he turns to Sookie nearby. Is Robin a superhero? I mean, his outfit isn't scary at all, and he has no special powers. But Batman doesn't really either. But at least he can drive the Batmobile and the Batplane. Robin just rides along. I don't think I'd want to just ride along. What do you think? Sookie opens her mouth, but no sound comes out. It doesn't matter, though, because Oliver's already moved on. Spider-Man, maybe I'll write about him. He holds up his palm in Sookie's face. He shoots webs, and he swings from buildings. That would be the best. Hey, freak, Shay whispers, glancing over at Mr. Daniels, who's working with somebody at his desk to make sure he can't hear. We don't need to hear every weird thought in your tiny little brain. We're trying to work. Oliver's face is unmoving until he says, if I were Aquaman, I would summon the piranhas to take you away. You could be their queen. Keisha starts laughing and Mr. Daniels finally looks up. Keisha? She puts her arm down on her desk and leans her forehead against it, trying to stop laughing. The more she tries, the more Shay glares. With Mr. Daniels watching, most everyone goes back to their work. After a while, even Keisha does. But I keep looking around the room. I love how Albert can't choose one character while Oliver wants to write about everyone. However, I don't love how much trouble I'm having writing about my character. It makes me wish I were a fictional character. When Mr. Daniels calls me up to his desk, he's holding my paper. A teacher holding my paper is rarely a good thing. But Mr. Daniels doesn't cover my paper with red ink like other teachers. They used to look like they were bleeding. Mr. Daniels has written in green, and he apologizes for not being able to read my writing. He says that my character sounds really interesting, but he'd like to know a bit more. Will you read this out loud for me? Uh-oh. I take it, squeezing my eyes into slits, trying to read my own writing. I wait for him to pressure me to try harder, to do something I can't do. He slides the paper out of my hand. Well, he says, why don't you just tell me instead of reading? First of all, tell me your person's name. I feel such relief that I'm afraid to blink. I hate this pressure. But this time I've been saved. I keep my voice down so no one can hear. It's Roy G. Biv. Oh, wait, he says, like the colors of the color spectrum? I nod. He stares. Before he can tell me I've messed up the directions, I say, you said fictional, and I figured you meant a book character like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, but Roy isn't real, and there isn't any other character that means as much as me as him. I love the colors, and I use them in my art, and art is about the only thing... I stop before I confess to feeling like a failure at everything else. That's clever, Allie, he tells me. I actually like that you chose someone who isn't a book character, exactly. You think outside of the box. I see a mind movie of myself standing outside a huge glass box while everyone else is inside it together. Do you know what it means to think outside of the box? He asks. I shake my head. It means that you're a creative thinker. You think differently than other people. Great. Just for once, I want to be told I'm like everyone else. It's a good thing to be an outside-of-the-box thinker, Allie. People like that are world changers. Wait, his face doesn't look like it's a bad thing. Is that like setting the world on fire, I ask, smiling a bit. Exactly that, he nods. Then he stares at me long enough for me to wonder what he's thinking before he sends me back to my seat. The next day, when it's time to tell the class who my character is, I begin by asking everyone what their favorite color is. It's fun. I think I like this part of being a teacher. I'd rather eat crayons than do the rest of it, though. I take out a color wheel that I made at home. It's white cardboard, and I've broken it into 7 pie-shaped pieces. I figured out that each angle has to be about 51 degrees to have 7 equal pie pieces. I used Travis's protractor to draw the lines exactly. Then I colored each piece with a different Roy G. Biv color, and I made them really dark. What color do you get if you mix all of the colors together, I ask. Most kids guess dark colors. Albert nods a little. My favorite color is white, I say, because it's a mixture of all the colors. Shay tells everyone it makes no sense, but I know the answer. If you mix paint together, it's true. You got a dark color. But if you're just talking about the colors pure in nature, they make white when mixed together. I brought this wheel to prove it. I feel like a magician. I show them the wheel with all of its colors. Then I stick a paper clip that I've unbent through a hole in the center and spin the wheel. It turns white as it spins fast. As it slows down, the colors reappear. Jessica leans forward. That's pretty cool. Shay looks at her with squinty eyes until Max agrees. Then she nods and agrees too. Are you going to give that away? Oliver asks. I hesitate. I wasn't going to, but I guess I could. You like that, huh, Oliver? Mr. Daniels asks. I would like to give it to my bus driver. She likes things with rainbow colors. Well, that's thoughtful of you, Mr. Daniels says. I sit down at my desk thinking about whether I should give the colored disc to Oliver. Jessica and Shay are talking behind me. Can I have another bracelet? Jessica asks Shay. I don't think so. I can hardly keep up with the people wanting them. Besides, you already have enough. Well, I wouldn't mind another, Jessica says. There's a pause, and I want to turn around, but I'm not supposed to be listening in. Listen, Shay says. You have 7 already, and I have other orders to fill. And besides that, you still owe me $3 for the last one. I'm not giving you another one until you pay me for what's already on your wrist. Wait. I whip around. I can't help it. You charge your friends for the friendship bracelets? Eavesdrop much? Yeah, so what? You want one? Jessica leans forward. Wait, you're going to give her one? No, idiot. I'm not going to give her one. She's going to pay me. But you know what? Allie should pay more. A lot more. She turns to me. $10. No thanks. I laugh. I'd rather wear handcuffs. I can't believe Shay charges her friends for something that's supposed to stand for loyalty and friendship. And I can't believe they've paid. You're such a dope, Allie Nickerson, Shay says. I look over at Keisha and Albert and realize that I have been. I've been so lucky all along, but didn't see it. Chapter 25. Celebration or devastation? Mr. Daniels is wearing a tie with little trophies on it. Also, he has a goofy smile on his face. Even goofier than most days. Okay, my fantasticos. There is one among you who did even more fantastic than usual, and that's hard to do. So we're going to celebrate. You see, when you all wrote those nature poems the other day, you had all been secretly entered in. He puts his arms up and raises his voice. The first annual Fantastico Poetry Award. Oh, great. Another thing for Shay to brag about. I look over at Albert and hope he'll win instead. He's hoping so too. I can tell by how he pulls his chair in more like he's getting ready. I think that Sookie has a good shot as well. So, Mr. Daniels said, this poem is a splendid surprise. Great work, and I'm very happy to give the first annual Fantastico Poetry Award to... I watch Shay out of the corner of my eye. If she wins, we'll never hear the end of it. What she does doesn't make sense. She shows surprise, but it's followed by disgust. Mr. Daniels' hand on my shoulder makes me jump. Congratulations, Allie, Mr. Daniels says. This can't be. It's too early for April Fool's Day. I look over at Albert and Keisha, wondering if they put a poem in with my name. Mr. Daniels takes a step back and says, Come on, come claim your prize. Prize? I swallow hard. Mr. Daniels stands in the front of the room, waving me up. Well, what are you waiting for? I stand and walk towards him like the floor will swallow me up. I turn towards the class and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He holds the poem in his hands. I look and see it's actually mine. Maybe I was just having a good day. I mean, it's about time to have a good day for once, right? Happiness seeps in. Have I really won an award? The thought would have been something for my sketchbook of impossible things before now. Me. So Allie is our first poetry winner for her piece entitled Rain, Rain. He turns to me. Do you want to read it or shall I? The paper crinkles in my hand. I'll read it, I say, happy that I have it memorized. Rain, rain, falling down, down, down on the ground. All the birds go in the trees. They don't like rain, you see. It doesn't take long to say, but it took me a long time to write it. But now it's all worth it. There's silence until Mr. Daniels motions everyone to applaud. Albert and Keisha clap the loudest. Mr. Daniels motions again and the applause get louder. Oliver slaps his desk until Mr. Daniels is pulling on his ear to calm him down. Looking out over the class, I remember some of the other poems I heard people working on. Really good poems. And then the whole thing hits me. I finally get it. Mr. Daniels hands out the certificates with the fancy letters and swirls around the edges. He also holds out a free coupon for ice cream in the cafeteria, and I think how happy Albert would be if I gave it to him. But I can't reach out and take them. I look up into his face. He smiles and then he winks. I look out over my classmates who have stopped clapping. Shay has pressed her mouth into a flat line, and most glance at each other with knowing looks. They all know, but figure I don't. This isn't a poetry award. It's a pity award. I look up at Mr. Daniels, who gives me a serious nod as if to say, Go ahead and take it. They don't know. Getting an award for not being smart enough to deserve it is the worst feeling I've ever felt. Like getting this certificate is going to make me pat myself on the back and somehow transform me into a different person. I swear I'll never accept an award that I don't deserve. Never. Keisha calls my name as I run from the room. Chapter 26. Stalling. I run into the bathroom and hide in the stall at the end. I stand pressing myself up against the wall, embarrassed and humiliated and never wanting to go back. The door opens and someone comes in. Are you okay? Keisha asks. No, I'm not. You won an award. Who in the world runs from an award? I think you'd be happy. I didn't. I didn't win for real. What are you talking about? She asked. Of course you did. I was there. No, trust me, I didn't. He's just trying to be nice. Why don't you come out of there? You don't understand. Just go away. You're right, Allie. I don't understand. I don't know why you're mad about an award. I feel so much worse than just mad. Look, I say, when you get on your bike, you don't expect it to hold you up. You expect it not to fall apart when you pedal. Yeah, so? Imagine if every single time you got on your bike and you had to worry that the wheels would come off, and every time you ride they do, but you still have to ride, every day. And then you have to watch everyone watch you as the bike goes to pieces underneath you, with everyone thinking that it's your fault and you're the worst bike rider in the world. Why in the world are you talking about bikes and wheels coming off? My brain, I say, leaning my forehead against the cold wall. My brain will never do what I want it to do. Come on, it's not like your brain's broken, Keisha says. So you're not the best speller. So what? Your brain seems fine to me. You don't understand what it's like to be different from everyone else. Wait, Keisha says. Have you noticed how different I look than everyone else in our class? It's not the same, I say. Look, you're my friend, the best friend I have here. If you want to say things like that and make it hard to be your friend, then, well, I'll just wait for you to come to your senses. Oh. You're talking like a fool saying I don't understand what it is to be different, but the thing is, I'm only different to people who see with the wrong eyes. I don't care what people like that think. I laugh a little. Albert says that the problem is that white people don't have enough melanin. He says that makes the human skin darker. Well, that boy's bonkers, but he's a smart one. She sounds happy. Now come on out. I lean against the wall for a minute, more because it's easier to say my next thing without seeing anyone. It comes from a place so deep inside, it's like it's coming out of the ground. I want to fit in for once. I mean, I really do. Just to be the same as everyone else. Keisha doesn't answer for a while. Look, you don't fit in. I don't fit in. Albert doesn't fit in either. Who fits in anyway? People like Shay? That girl's just mean. Who cares about what she thinks? The stall door is still closed, but I smile as I imagine Keisha's expression. I'm so lucky to have her. Come on, Allie. Who wants to fit in with people like Shay and are worse than awful friends? Thankfully, we'll never fit in with people like that. Keisha laughs again. One thing's for sure, we're not going to fit in, but we're going to stand out. All three of us. You wait and see. You're going to be a famous artist. Albert's going to cure cancer or invent talking fish or something. Talking fish? What would they say? Please don't fry me? I push open the door, and her face is just like I imagined. And you're going to have a big baking business, right? Maybe in my spare time. I'm also going to rule the world, Keisha said. I laugh and swallow hard. Thanks for being my friend, Keisha. Don't go thanking me for that. Thank me for this. I'm going to go tell Shay she has a spot on the back of her fancy riding jacket so we can watch her try to look. And then we can eat that ice cream that you won.